the Brazilian Air Force, FAB, is eagerly awaiting the arrival of the F-39 fighter, a name given to Saab Gripen E, a 36-unit modern combat aircraft ordered. And the first unit will be delivered in 2021, Airway One said. Meanwhile, waiting for the arrival of the F-39, Brazil must thank the Northrop F-5 Tiger II ambush that has been operating for 45 years of service. 45 years ago, on February 28, 1975, the Brazilian Air Force, FAB, officially received 3 first-to-seat F-5B fighter jets in Palmade, California, where Northrop, now Grumman, was located. These planes are part of an order of 42 F-5s. 36 units of the single-seat F-5E version and the rest are double-seat aircraft. At that time, Brazil was modernizing its combat squadron after the retirement of the Gloster F-8 Meteor jet the previous year and the Lockheed F-80 in 1973. The year before, 17 Dassault Mirage III fighters had joined the Brazilian Air Force. The F-5 ambush aircraft will have more flexible functions, distributed by squadrons in Brazil's southernmost region. In 1988, the Air Force bought 22 used fighters from the United States, including 4 F-5Fs, the most sophisticated biplace version of the jet. 20 years later, further strengthening of the fleet was carried out when 11 aircraft were purchased from Jordan. With Mirage 2000 withdrawn from service, the F-5 is the only active Brazilian Air Force FAB fighter aircraft. Meanwhile, Mirage III finally retired and was soon replaced by 12 Mirage 2000, which was used from the French Air Force. Interestingly, this aircraft was very short in strengthening the Air Force and finally retired from service in 2013. Since then, the F-5 Tiger has been in full charge of Brazil's air defense, a mission that has never been carried out before. Although lightweight but very agile, supersonic jets from Northrop are still highly admired by the pilots, however, already showing signs of aging. Brazil also conducted a modernization program on 43 F-5s that passed the F-5M standard with new avionics and weaponry. And even with the introduction of Gripen, the remaining F-5 fighter jets are still expected to continue operating for another 10 years, a remarkable proof of the longevity of Northrop's aircraft. Northrop F-5 is a family of supersonic light fighter aircraft originally designed as a privately funded project in the late 1950s by Northrop Corporation. There are 2 main models: the original F-5A and F-5B Freedom fighter variants and the extensively updated F-5E and F-5F Tiger II variants. The design team wrapped a small, highly aerodynamic fighter around 2 high-pressure General Electric J85 engines, focusing on performance and low maintenance costs. Smaller and simpler than contemporaries like McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II, F-5s are cheaper to procure and operate, making it a popular export aircraft. Although it was primarily designed for the role of the air superiority, this aircraft is also a capable ground attack platform. F-5A entered service in the early 1960s. During the Cold War, more than 800 were produced until 1972 for U.S. allies. Although at the time, the United States Air Force (USAF) had no need for a light fighter, it procured around 1,200 Northrop T-38 Talon trainer aircraft, which were based on Northrop N-156 fighter designs. After winning the International Combat Aircraft Competition, a program aimed at providing effective low-cost fighters for American allies, in 1970, Northrop introduced the second-generation F-5E Tiger II in 1972. These improvements included a more powerful engine, higher fuel capacity, larger wing area, and improved front edge extension for better turn rates, optional air-to-air refueling, and improved avionics including air-to-air radar, mainly used by American allies, remains in U.S. service to support training exercises. It has served in a variety of roles. Capable of carrying out air and ground attack tasks, the species was used extensively in the Vietnam War. A total of 1,400 Tiger II were built before production ended in 1987. More than 3,800 F-5s and closely related T-38 training aircraft were produced at Hawthorne, California. The F-5F variant operates with the United States Navy and United States Marine Corps as enemy trainers. Around 500 aircraft operated in 2014. The F-5 was also developed into a special surveillance version, RF-5 Tiger I. The F-5 also serves as a starting point for a series of design studies that produced the Northrop F-17 and F-18 naval combat aircraft. Northrop F-20 Tiger Shark is a sophisticated variant to replace the F-5E, which was eventually cancelled when export customers did not appear. The design effort was led by Northrop Vice President of Engineering and Aircraft Designer Edgar Schmood, who previously at North American Aviation had become the successful chief designer of the North American P-51 Mustang and F-86 fighter aircraft. Schmood recruited a strong engineering team to Northrop and commissioned them to reverse the trend in the development of fighter aircraft towards greater size and weight to provide aircraft with high performance, improved maneuverability, and high reliability, while still providing cost advantages compared to fighters contemporary. Recognizing that expensive jets cannot be replaced every few years, he also demands engineered growth potential, which allows a long service life of more than 10 years. Schmood acknowledges that new jet engines and aerodynamic technology are essential for these purposes, such as the ratio of General Electric J-85's turbojet engines, which are concise but heavy, and the rules of the newly discovered transonic area to reduce barriers. The J-85 engine has been developed to power the McDonnell ADM-20 Quail-Bait used on the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress. This engine, with a thrust-to-weight ratio of 6.25 to 7.5 over various versions, has a prominent thrust-per-pound advantage compared to contemporaries, such as the 4.7 thrust-to-weight ratio of the J-79 engine used in F-4 Phantom. In October 1974, the Brazilian Air Force, FAB, ordered 36 F-5E and 6 F-5B aircraft from Northrop for $72 million. The first three aircraft arrived on March 12, 1975. In 1988, FAB obtained 22 F-5E and 4 used USAF F-5F aggressors. As many as 15 of these aircraft were part of an initial batch of 30 aircraft produced by Northrop. In 1990, FAB retired all 5 remaining F-5Bs. Then, they were sent to Brazilian museums throughout the country. In 2001, Elbit Systems and Embraer began working on a $230 million Brazilian F-5 modernization program, carried out over an 8-year period, increasing 46 F-5E/F aircraft, which were reappointed as F-5EM and F-5FM. Modernization is centered on several areas: new electronic warfare systems, Grifo-F radars, air-to-air refueling systems, GPS, in-space navigation, support for new weapons, targeting and self-defense systems, POTAS, LCD screens, helmet-mounted displays, HMD, radar warning receivers, encrypted communications, cockpit compatibility for night vision goggles, onboard oxygen generating system, OBOGS, and various new computer upgrades on board. One important capability is secure communication with the R-99 early warning platform and ground station. Externally, this new aircraft has a larger nose cone that accommodates larger radar equipment. The first F-5EM was submitted on September 21, 2005. On July 7, 2003, 4 targeting pods of Rafale Lightning III were ordered at a cost of US $13 million to be used on the F-5M, along with 3 Rafale Sky Shield polling orders ordered on July 5, 2006 at a cost US $42 million. In 2009, Fab bought 8 one-seat aircraft and 3 twin F-5F seats from Jordan in a deal worth US $21 million. This aircraft was built between 1975 and 1980. On April 14, 2011, a contract valued at $153 million was signed with Embraer and Elbit to modernize additional F-5s purchased from Jordan, and to supply 1 more flight simulator as a continuation of the contract signed in 2000. The F-5 will receive the same configuration as the one from the initial 46 F-5s, currently completing the upgrade process. The first shipment of upgraded jet fighters is scheduled for 2013, with an estimated usage of up to 2030.